That's an interesting story. And it takes me back to when I was 3.
Wow.
My parents were missionaries in Japan, and that's how I got to Japan. And so in those days, many years ago, we didn't go by airplane, it was by ship, and ship was too expensive, so we went by freighter. And we were with everybody, the cargo, the only passengers on cargo ship. And so it took about 6 weeks at that time to go across the Pacific Ocean from California to Japan. And it happened that as we were coming towards Japan, a typhoon had hit, and the ocean was just tumultuous. So the ship couldn't dock at Yokohama Harbor, and we were asked to stay out at sea. And we did that for several days, but the ocean continued to foment. And it was very expensive to not offload freight. But the problem that the shipping company had was they had us as passengers had to offload us before they could go to a different port. So one night they decided that after much deliberation that we should be offloaded onto a putt-putt boat.
Wow.
And at night it was raining, the waves were huge, the boat would go way up and the putt-putt would go way down. And they put a rope ladder over the bow of the boat and they said, okay, now climb down and get into the putt-putt. The problem was it was dark, there was one floodlight to look at, and you would have 20, 30 feet between the last rung of the rope ladder and the boat. And we were supposed to just let go and hope that we would fall into the boat. I was 3, my older sister was 4. And so my father went first over the boat and got into the tugboat, and it was my turn. And I wasn't going to let go. The boat went up and the tugboat went down, and I held on to the rope. And it would continue. And finally my father yelled, "Lois, let go and trust me." And in that moment, I let go and he caught me. And I have thought about that so many times because it is the story of faith. We come along, we have to let go and trust God, and we fall into the arms of Jesus.
Oh, I love that.
And so that was my first journey with God, and realizing he never abandons us. He's there, even in the most scary of times.
Wow, out of the mouth of a 3 years old? I can't even imagine. So do you remember that moment when you were holding on to that at 3 years old?
And, today they would never allow you to do that, right? In those days, it was just too costly. So move on.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Lois, wow. I have never heard of it. I've talked to a lot of people about their stories, and that is the first, actually. So you're probably the only person in the world that's probably, I don't know if that's a very interesting story. But it's so true. There will be times in life where we have to truly trust God, and so we won't know what's going to happen, and us letting go, trying to control our situation and truly just trust that he has you. That's such a beautiful picture of what faith is. And thank you for sharing that, Lois.